So, does anybody here know that meme that's kind of been circulating around Twitter where it's like you take the name of a brand you like or a person you like, and it's like, if blank has 1 million fans, I am one of them. If blank has 1 fan, that is me. If blank has 0 fans, it means I'm dead. Well, if Beast has 1 million fans, I am one of them. If Beast has 1 fan, it is me. If Beast has 0 fans, it means I'm dead. Because Beast is freaking sweet. This movie is dope as fuck, man. Oh my god, this is probably the best experience I had watching a film this year. And that is such a weird thing to say because this year in film has been electric. Top Gun Maverick, Nope, RRR, The Batman, X. There's been so many great films that just were so visceral and fun to see in theaters. But Beast is on a whole other level because it does so many interesting things. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a better film than everything I just mentioned. I like a lot of those films so much that they're brilliant masterpieces. This film I put up in that contention too. I could argue, and it's going to sound dumb, but I could argue this is the greatest film of the year so far. I could argue it. Is it on the same level as all those other ones I mentioned? Yes. Is it better slightly? Maybe. There's just certain factors going into this film that I think work so perfectly for what I've been waiting to see in film for a long time that it just makes me so happy. And again, I need to preface this first so people don't get like, I can't believe you just compare this to RRR. This film is not going to be for everybody. If you cannot handle what is being presented in front of you, you're not going to admire what's being done here. But the thing is, this is like expert filmmaking in like a really like amateurish setting, and I really dig that. This is unlike anything I've seen this year. It had me just on the edge of my seat watching this film just enact this really intense story. Is it a little cheesy? Sure. But I just watched things like Day of the Animals and the Slumber Party Massacre. I am not offended by cheese. If you're going to put cheese on something, I'm okay with that. And I just think the way this movie handles itself is so unique and different than a lot of stuff we've seen in the genre it's about this year, which made me really happy. So what is Beast? Like, this is kind of a surprisingly underrated film, even though I saw it in an IMAX theater. Idris Elba stars as the lead. He is taking his 2 daughters back to their mother's kind of village in Africa where they are just going to go on like a safari. And during that time, we see that there is this evil lion that is attacking poachers and people that are trying to hurt it. And it becomes a survival story of this man protecting his daughters from an insane lion. It's freaking dope. That's all it is. It's a survival story about an evil lion, and we see at the beginning of the film, we see it's like the lion's like pride gets killed, it's got a revenge path, it's coming down to take down the poachers, and it's sweet. Here are just a couple of the reasons I think this film shook me in ways I wasn't expecting. It's one of the tightest scripts this year. Look, we have so many great blockbusters and these long-extending franchises this year that do some great stuff. And they're like, oh, it's 3 hours, it's 2 hours and 12 minutes, and all blah, blah, blah. This film is 93 minutes. It is a 93-minute film that is so tight and compacted that nothing feels like wasted space. It's like, you get it. We don't have to like extend these scenes longer than they need to be. You understand what we are doing in these situations, so here you go. 93 minutes. It's getting all this action done in 93 minutes. This part of it will never cease to amaze me. This film is built. It is built on the long take. Something I could talk about endlessly in today's cinema and today's action movies and today's franchise pieces and today's horror films is that we cut away too much. We just cut the clip and we edit it to look so fast, and we have to get reaction shots and point of view shots, and we just cut so much. This film is about the long take. There are moments where it's cutting between people talking, and that's fine, but ultimately, the average length of a scene, like one scene without cutting away to a different angle, a different person's expression, just one continuous take, the average length is at least over 20 seconds. 20 seconds! Like, there are literal minutes where we don't take. It's one continuous shot for minutes. And it's 93 minutes, and I'm like, how are you doing this so effortlessly? Like, it's so brilliant, and everything involved in that is just, like, on a technical level, like, you haven't seen before. Is this movie as, like, big and bombastic as other action films in the genre this year? No, it's not. But the fact that we could spend, like, 2 minutes just watching this guy and his daughters walk through this village they're kind of going through. They get to the house they're staying at. You're looking at all the scenes. There's things happening in the background, in the foreground that all feel naturalistic and real. It is brilliant. And so quiet in that aspect too. And then when we get to like the long continuous takes where the actual lion is attacking people, I'm just like, how are you physically doing this? It's one of those instances in cinema where you're watching this thing happen in front of you. In particular, yeah, let's get to this. In particular, there's a scene where one of the lead actors is getting mauled to death by a lion. And you're just watching this scene play out in real time. And you're like, how the fuck do you do that as a filmmaker? Like, you're not using a real lion to attack this guy. How are you doing that? It is so brilliant and crazy and awesome. And this experience is just so real because, look, again, it's easy storytelling. You know, it's got the cliches in there that people are going to, like, drag it down. You're like, why'd you make that choice? Why'd you leave the thing? Yeah, that's just something people just react in there. But you need those to make a story like this work. You know, if you don't have the cliches, people are going to freak out with or without them. So you need them in there to have the audience be okay with it. There are moments where I'm like, why did the lady have to say that to get her father to feel a certain way? But I don't hate that because you would do that as a kid, you know? And that's like the most realistic thing about me to this thing to me is like these kids are scared out of their minds, but they're capable of helping. Like they're not just like, you know, liabilities you have to protect. They're like, I need to do something here. I'm going to try to do something. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'm like, yeah, they listen. They respond appropriately. I really dig that. Idris Elba looks like he's having a super fun time throughout this film. He's like, oh yeah, this is acting. I get to sit here, be a bad father, learn to be a good father, and I get to fight things and like crawl through the desert and like go into the water and just like insane shit. And it looks so good. It's visually pleasing. The long takes make you just wince with like, why isn't more cinema like this? The acting is okay, but you don't care about the acting because you're watching this lion stalk people in this like plains somewhere. It uses a walkie-talkie somehow and growls at these children. It's trying to attack them through this jeep. It's so cool and awesome, and everything is working, and it's like an hour and a half long. And I always say this to people, like, we don't need these films to be over 2 hours every time. We don't need that. When you can tell your concise story in 93 minutes with better, like, moving cinematography and light work than any of the main blockbusters that we're seeing, when you have talented actors given these really subtle but brilliant performances in a story like this with great moving CG, perfect camera work, you are impressing me in a way that no other film has. Do I like these other blockbusters more? Maybe, but for what this movie is trying to execute, a tight-budgeted horror film about this evil lion stalking people, I don't think you can beat it. This film is visceral, it is gruff and intense and terrifying, but friendly, interesting, creative, and one of the best. Like, I know a lot of people don't watch camera work. I know that. But if you are a filmmaker or somebody who talks about film and you can't see how amazing it is that we're watching a full-blown lion fight without cutting away, that is insane because we're doing that. We are doing that. We are seeing those things. It's unreal. It's unreal. Beast is literally the most insane experience I had in the theaters this year. It is probably in my favorite film of the year. I don't want to say it's number one, but I could make the argument it is number one. It is the best theater experience I had. It is insane. It is cool. This film is just like awesome. I just want more things like this. Give me a tight story under like an hour 30, please. It's great. It's fun. It's a beast. This movie is a beast, and it is Beast. Check it out. So Beast, oh my God, don't hate me for this. I'm going to give a 10 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.